I watched a lot of movies, and I was really big into visualization. And I always equated working out to struggle. And I struggled my whole life, but I ran from it. So I started realizing, man, I got to start facing the struggle, and I got to be mentally strong for the struggle. So that's where I started coming up with, like, I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for, like, to lift 400 pounds. And I found out on my own pretty much, is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. You start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. That's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. And that's how I started coming up. I just started being very uncomfortable. And now it's like just a way of life. I'll tell you this, I started really realizing that when I started overcoming myself, I started getting around these real alpha males, these hard men. And I always put people way above me when I was growing up. Like, my God, they had to have a lot more than me to get to where they're at. And a lot of them did. But once you get around the best of the best of the best people, you can kind of start breaking them down and realizing, man, you're just as f***ed up as me. Like we all have, but all you did was you hit it better. Your upbringing, your mom and dad, your society, the way you were raised, it hit it better than mine. You weren't the only black kid, or there was like 5 in a school. I can't hide. Going through buds, I was the only black kid. You can't hide. But I started realizing, just because I look different than you, a lot of you can't hide either. So it started giving me courage through watching people that we all have a story. We all have a jacked up life in one way or another. Some of us don't have the guts to talk about it, though. And that's where I found the guts to talk about mine. And I look at it as psychological warfare. And that's where I started learning that life is one big psychological warfare that you play on yourself. You play on yourself, man. The most important conversation I ever had is with myself. And the shit I was telling myself was so tough, it was so wrong, it was so misguided. And other people start to write that dialogue for you also. And it starts to be what you say to yourself every single day. And I started creating a whole nother warfare, a whole nother battle started becoming. I was like, oh, hang on a second, Goggins. You have these tools. You have these tools. Your life was basically the perfect grounds for training for where you need to go in your life. All the beatings, all the bullying, all the, you going through learning disabilities, all the struggles, it was the absolute perfect training ground for you to go to where you need to go. And that's how I started looking at my life versus woe is me, poopy pants, kick a rock down the street mentality. It was, God just hooked you right the fuck up. He hooked you right up, man, with the perfect place. You were training for the first 18, 19, 20, you were training for this stuff, man. You had the advantage of everybody else versus, my God, they're so above me. They came from a great family. Mom and dad love them. They didn't have to learn, they didn't stutter, they didn't struggle. No, man, your struggle is what made you who you are now. So I started flipping this into a whole different, I started being a master of what I was scared of. I was scared of my mind. And I became literally a master of that mind. And that's what from now on, it sets me apart from most people. I started diving into that. Well, I used to look at my life from a different vantage point. And when you're in all the muck and you're just walking in muck and walking in muck and walking in muck, you don't see that if you look off to the left of the muck, there's a sidewalk, brother. Get off of it. You have your head down looking in this muck. Once I saw the sidewalk, got the sidewalk, I got a little break. And I got a different vantage point. And then from the sidewalk, I found a cliff. Then I found a mountain. I got way up high on top of my life and looked back down on it and said, okay, I got to figure this out, man. I'm not going anywhere. I'm starting to lie. So when you have a messed up foundation, I started lying about everything. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be accepted in some society of life, some social society. And I was like, man, this isn't the right way. I'm messed up here. I'm messed up here. I'm messed up everywhere. And so I realized the worst thing that happened to me is I lost myself. I never had myself. I never found myself. I had no self-esteem. So I knew through working out and through learning, because it took a lot for me to learn also, I started finding self-esteem. Once I found that, that's when doors started opening up. I stopped caring about people, that what they thought, being judged. Wow, if I say this, if I started right now, are you gonna make fun of me? I stopped caring about that. And that's when my life started really changing for me, slowly but surely.
That's such an important point when you're talking about the working out, because a lot of people, when they think about working out, they think of it as being a physical thing.
Right, no. I did it for mental.
Yeah.
People always say, my God, like, no, don't look at it like, I didn't care about losing weight. I didn't care about being the fastest person. I wasn't making the Olympics. I wasn't going to pros. I could barely read and write when I was in a junior in high school. I wasn't going anywhere. I saw working out as a way for me to build calluses on my mind. I had to callous over the victim's mentality. So I watched these movies. I talked about Rocky last time I was on here. I always equated training to mental toughening. Like, it always looked brutal. People waking up early and doing all these things, and it looked horrible. I was like, wow, man, I gotta start doing that. Not to get better, bigger, and stronger, but that is what's gonna build me. That looks uncomfortable. That looks brutal. And getting up early, I don't wanna do that. So I made this long list of things that I don't wanna do. And through that, I found myself. I started, I'm like, you guys aren't doing this shit in high school. You guys aren't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, running over here in this golf course. So I started seeing myself very differently than the average human being. I was like, hang on a second. I have something they don't have. And that's when I started to develop these things through working out. It was this great, never-ending work ethic. And through work ethic, I developed self-esteem. It wasn't my mom. It wasn't Principal Freeman. It wasn't my dad. It was me. Because when nobody coming back to help David Goggins, that was my mindset now. And so with my non-spelling ass, I started getting these sticky notes and writing, you're f***ed up. And my mom wakes up like, what is wrong with you? I go, man, I have to change because I can't stay here. People think I became this guy from running.
Yeah.
No, I became this guy from studying. I had to study for hours. What might take you an hour to learn, take me 2 days.
Wow.
So that's where, in this, at the table, and my best friend Johnny remembers me like, God, you just changed. Something happened. I got obsessed. So I take the test, I score high, I get in the Air Force. And that's when I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a pararescueman. And this is when I realized, man, I teach myself how to swim. I taught myself how to swim, but this is when I realized, man, that I'm negative buoyant as hell. And there's a lot of things. So what gets people in special operations is the water. Not swimming, but the water confidence. When they're like taking your air from you and you're underwater panicking, I realized I was very uncomfortable. So long story short, I was there for 6 weeks. I was moving on pretty well. I was second in my class. And I was getting through all the water confidence, but barely. But I wanted to quit every night. I didn't go to sleep every night. Just paranoid of the next day of getting back in that pool. So 6 months go by, we had this medical examination and they draw my blood and they said, you have sickle cell. Sickle cell is a blood disease that some African Americans have. Basically, if something happens under stressful situations, stroke, heart attack, sudden death. This happened to a few African Americans in the military, so they pulled me from training saying, you can't do this job. And when you live a very stressed out life, like I was living, that's your norm. So not sleeping, being scared, that was my norm. I wasn't gonna quit. But when they pull you out of training, and now I'm comfortable. So now I'm seeing my class of 24 guys, it was like 150, now it's 24 guys, and they're in the pool, and I'm on the side of the pool, I'm not in the water now, I'm seeing what I was doing. I'm seeing these guys struggling, panicking in the water, like wanting to quit. I'm like, that, I'm not going. So now I'm comfortable. And I'm able to see now, I'm not going back. So now, my big dream of being a pararescueman, I'm now seeing that do this. I'm like, I want to get out of the Air Force.
Wow.
I don't even want to be in the military. So this is what I'm saying. So I'm hoping now that this sickle cell thing is going to get me kicked out of the military. Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to go back in the, I'm done. So I'm not getting happy, because now I'm like, I won't quit. They're going to medically drop me from the course. This is great. I can keep my head up. I learned how to read, I learned how to write, I passed the ASVAB test, but I'm fixing everything on the surface. I'm not going into the dungeon. I realize now why you f***ed this up. I had to almost be him to realize it's okay, brother. It's okay, because I realized that somewhere in your life, something f***ed you up, and you didn't deal with it. And so you put that on me, my mom, and everybody around you, I'm gonna deal with my shit. So even though you gave me all this shit, you gave me a satchel of shit that I didn't deserve, and now I'm all fucked up, and people think I'm a liar and I'm all fucked up. You gave me this. You created this nightmare of Goggins. I'm gonna fix it though. I'm gonna fix it now. So I must take it. I take all this shit, it's mine. I'm gonna fix all this shit. But I know to fix shit, people wanna find peace immediately. And this is where people don't like me. I don't believe that shit. You ain't gonna find it through yoga and all this other bullshit. I stretch out a lot and I believe in yoga, all this is great, but you ain't gonna find it in some fucking room. You're gonna find peace from going to war with yourself, because we all got shit. We all got shit. People look at me, the reason why my story resonates with people, because I don't hide. I'll tell you exactly who the I am. I will admit to it. People are great at hiding. So they want to just find peace. No, you gotta take your shit, fix whatever's fucked up in you. Don't just shove it under the rug. Fix it, and then you'll find some peace later after you fix some shit. So now I'm realizing this. I go home, several months go by, and now I'm like, okay, here we go. It's time to be a Navy SEAL. I start calling these recruiters, man. And when you're 297 pounds and you have prior service, man, recruiters laugh at your ass, dude. My whole life, I mean, I don't know if people believe in God or what. I don't care what you believe in. There's been this unrelenting voice in my head. We all have this voice. It's the right or wrong voice. And a lot of times that voice guides us into comfort. And my voice guided me into comfort a lot. But I had this other voice I heard my whole life saying, hey, motherfucker, what are you doing? Nah, man, we got to go over here. We got to go over here to that rock pile over in the corner where nobody's at. That's where victory's at. We're over there in that corner. So this voice was giving me all these answers. Now, I wasn't a real smart kid growing up, but I had this crazy voice in my head saying, over there is where the answers are. And I wouldn't listen to it because over there was pain. Over there was me looking in the mirror. Over there was me being accountable for all these things I went through my life. Even though people put them on me, it's now mine to own. And I didn't want to go over there by myself, but I had to. And this voice was guiding me there. It's God, whatever you want to call it. But that's what it was in me. I was trying to find myself through a character. I was making different hairstyles and sagging my pants, and I was off. I was off, man. I was a clown. I was a clown, and I was like, this is not where you're supposed to be in life, man. I always fixed the things on the surface. So if I couldn't read and write, I learned to read and write. I would always fix these things on the surface level. And so whenever something hard would raise its ugly head, I didn't have any kind of tools to handle it. I'm like, man, I thought I fixed this already, man. But no, I didn't go deep into the dungeon of my soul to say, okay, what is making you a quitter? What is making you a weak man? What is making you afraid? And so that's why I kept on quitting and going back to start, or not knowing how to get through hard times. And that's why I always tell people, I'm not a theorist. I didn't study, I didn't study a book. I literally put myself in a fire repeatedly like a sword. You put a sword in a fire repeatedly and repeatedly. If you keep on doing that, you're gonna get a nice sword. And then you keep on beating it. You gotta beat the shit out of it. And that's what I am. Yeah. I became that. I said, okay, we can't quit. We got to figure out why you are this pussy. Why are you this pussy, man? What is wrong with you? What's going on here? So I kept on putting the sword back in the daggone fire, and I just beat it harder. And I beat it harder. Before I knew it, I started realizing, all right, man, the brain is starting to get hard. The brain is starting to get hard. I'm no longer a theorist. I'm now a practitioner. I put it in hell. I dissected it while it's in hell, because you can't dissect anything in a normal environment. You can't dissect anything in 72-degree weather. You must put it in the freezer and freeze the out of it. And then you dissect it. Dissect it when it's miserable. Dissect the brain when all it's thinking about is, I need to get out of here, man. I want to get out of the freezer. Open the door. And you said, nah, 5 more seconds, man. 5 more seconds in the freezer. And that's when you start to pick that brain apart. And that's what all this stuff did to me. I kept on putting myself back into the freezer or the fire and beating the shit out of myself, mentally and physically. Before I knew it, this is what happened. People think a lot of times about me that I'm angry. Oh my God, you sound so angry. You cuss so much. Oh my God, why you cuss so much? Why are you so crazy? if you read my book, I cannot explain my life by saying, hey, it was a Merry Christmas, man. No, it wasn't. I want you to go there with me. I'm taking you there with me. I'm a storyteller. I want to take your ass down paradise. So the house I lived in Buffalo, New York, that I got my ass beat every day, funny. We lived on Paradise Road, and it was anything but paradise. So I want you to go there with me. You want to learn from me? Let me take your ass home. Let me take you there. So that's the whole thing about it, man. We're scared to dive into our lives. What made us who we are? The beautiful people that we are. We're all jacked up in so many ways. That's the beauty of us. That's the beauty of me. I'm jacked up, but I figured out my own little process on how to get unjacked up and how to. I'm not going to get the same. I'm not going to get the same way you're going to get there. You may get there by going point A to point B. I might go point C to D to E to F, but I'm going to be there the same way you are, just a little harder. That's how I train my brain. So it's just different. I'm just a different thinker. I struggled so hard in my life. I went through so much that the biggest trophy I own now is that book. The biggest trophy I own now is not the book itself, it's what's in the book. It's what, like, I don't give a fuck if that sells one copy. Honest to God, man. Like what I did, and that's what I hope people understand. Your life and the journey you put yourself through, there's nothing more than that. And that's all I want people to do is realize that you have to struggle. You have to struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace. The bigger the suffering, the more peace. My story, there's no color involved in it. It's a human story about struggle. And I happen to be in so many different situations that so many people can relate to about struggle that I guarantee you, mark my word, you read that book, there will be a section of that book that resonates with you hardcore. It will make you think. If you're not ready to think about your life and think about, where you can be and think about what you haven't done, the book's not for you. If you're not ready to really self-reflect and hold yourself accountable for where you're at and where you're not, the book is not for you. It's real. Yeah. So many people are talking this noise.
Exactly.
And I see them. Yeah. I know them. I'm not going to say names, but I know them. I'm like, man, dude, do you know why my life is miserable right now? Because I can't go on your show right now, your podcast, if I didn't get after it this morning. So I cannot talk to people.
Unless you're authentic.
Unless I'm authentic. Because I used to be the most unauthentic motherfucker on the planet. Now, I have this voice in my head saying, oh no, I'll call you up. If I lie to you about something, even a white lie. Hey, yo, Joe, guess what, dude? I lied to you, man, like that wasn't real. Like it will bother me that badly now. So another thing, what's funny about all this book stuff, man, I didn't set out to write a book. Like literally, man, when I was 24 years old on a couch, fat, spraying for cockroaches, eating donuts and drinking milkshakes, I did not plan on doing this. All I wanted to do was change the reflection in that daggone mirror. It's a byproduct of that. And that's the funny thing about it. Like everybody's like, oh my God, David Goggins, what the hell I'm like, what the
Right, and you're not 22 years old.
No, I'm 24.
Right.
And so I'm fat, I'm out of shape, and I know this. And so I finally, after 2 weeks of calling recruiters, I found this guy named Steven Saljo. And Steven Saljo says, come on in the office. Mm-hmm. I walk in the office, he looks at me, and he's the first recruiter that said, you know what? Damn, you're a big dude, man. You want to be a SEAL? I said, yeah, but he didn't give me the look of like, you can't do it. He gave me a look of, let's go weigh you. He weighed me, 297. He went through his little chart, started writing all this shit down, and he said, you got a lofty task ahead of you. I go, why? He goes, well, this program that I was trying to get into, because I was in the reserves, and I was going to go from the reserve program to an active duty SEAL. So this program was shutting down, and I was going to be in the last class, like 1 or 2 classes left before it shut down. So I had about 3 months to get the weight standard. 100
pounds in 3 months.
106 pounds. So the standard for a 6'1" person back then, 6'1", I forget what it was 191. Okay. And I was 297. So I pretty much said, this pretty much can't work for me, man. This is impossible. So I go back to work spraying for cockroaches and I hit the mother load. Like I hit the mother load of cockroaches, rodents and everything. And I go out to the dumpster and these animals, I was like, I'm done. So I quit my job right then. Actually, the boss had to come to I quit. The boss had to come looking for me to get the truck back. I left work. So he had to come to my house. I didn't even go to work again. So all these restaurants, I had the keys to them all, the alarm codes, all the keys were in the truck. He had to come by and knock on my door and say, but he brought some friends with him. Kyle toured 97 pounds. Like,
right, it's a big dude.
I need some backup.
Right.
I'm like, here, dude, I'm out. And so I had now started my journey. And so now I'm like, I'm losing the weight. But my first run was 4 miles.
That's what you had to run that day on your plan.
That was my plan. As I'm driving the truck back home from quitting my job, I drive home, I get my shoes on, and I run a quarter mile. Come home crying.
You stopped after a quarter mile?
Yeah, walk back home because I was exhausted. I haven't run in like years.
You're sucking down Shake
I remember,
Shack stage.
I remember back when I was 175. Running was easy. I was one of the fastest runners in class. But now, it's just hard, man. I'm fat, I'm out of shape. And I was just defeated because now I was 175. I was in good shape. And I got myself into a bigger hole now. And now I gotta lose this weight and I gotta take the ASVAB again to get in the Navy. So I gotta take that, so I took that 2 more times. Because the first time I passed it, but I had to get a 50 on mechanical comprehension. So there's like 10 different sections. Had to get a 50, I got a 44. You can only get a waiver for 5 points. So I had to take it again, and guess what happened? It's in the book really well. It's exactly what happened. I take the ASVAB test, and I took it, and now they have computers. Back when I took it the first time, it's like all like Scantron shit. So now I see a computer, so now I'm freaking out, oh my God, it's on the computer. So I take it, and the sergeant in charge of the ASVAB test isn't supposed to tell you what you got. So I take it for my second time and my last time. They're not gonna let me take it again. So I'm now down to 215 pounds, I'm losing the weight, but now I take the ASVAB test for the second time to get in the Navy. As I leave, I get out to my car, and I'm like, this is my life, man. I gotta find out what I got in this test, because usually it takes 2 days to get the results back. But they get them immediately. Once you hit send, that guy gets it right there. So I'm like, yeah, man. I go back in. I go, hey, man, can you please? He goes, man, this is military protocol. I'm not breaking it for you. I'm like, people are still taking the test. I'm like crying. I'm like, man, you don't understand what I've been through, man. I'm like, this is my life. Please, I'm begging this guy, please let me know what I got. So he scrolls through, he sees David Goggins, he goes, you got 65. I go, great. I don't care about that.
Mechanical.
That was my overall score. I go, what did I get on mechanical? He goes, you're asking a lot from me, man. I go, please, man, like I have to get a 50 on mechanical. He scrolls over, I got exactly a 50. Have you seen The Pursuit of Happiness? Yeah. How that motherfucker, when he runs up the stairs and gets a job, and like your hair stands on the back of your neck because he worked so hard to get this shit. When I left that ASVAB and it's nighttime, I'm getting in my car, it felt like that.
Did it?
Something came over, it felt like I truly accomplished, even though I passed it before, but now I know I'm all in.
That's good for me to hear, for people to hear, because I have a hard time picturing you celebrating anything. And so that's good to hear that something that, of all the things you've accomplished, you celebrated that.
You know what's funny? I haven't celebrated since then. Because I needed that to start the war.
Wow.
Without that, the celebration was I can start the war now. It wasn't that I won the war, I can start my war. That's what made me, that's why I haven't celebrated since, because I'm always in that battle. I have peace, but I'm in this battle every day. So I got to 50, I can start war now. I'm down to 215, I have about another month to go, or whatever it is to lose the weight. I dropped the weight, I'm in SEAL training now. Amazing. The war now can begin.
Wow.
And it does.
And the war begins, but I gotta tell you, it has to be a movie. Because I'm listening to you, it has to be a movie. Like the book, by the way, the book, everybody, you have to get the book, okay? I'm telling you, I read it in a day. But now hearing you live and hearing some of the things that weren't in there, it's moving to me, because now and this is just the very beginning of the war too.
Oh.
So this man loses.
I think we're in chapter 3 right now.
Yeah, this guy sucks down Steak Shack shakes and donuts and Fruity Pebbles or whatever the hell it was, and all the stuff mom's making you. It's amazing too. I think a little lesson in there, David, is you had all these times where you thought, now I've changed. And that's important for people to hear too, because I've had that too. It's like, hey, now I got it. Now I'm on it. Now, and even seeing your dad, even the dad thing, that was a breakthrough. But then even after that, it was like, it took the damn freaking cockroaches and rodents to flip you. And then even after that, you run the quarter mile, come home crying to yourself.
Right.
So it's all these things. Like, I think everyone thinks like there's just gonna be this defining moment period where everything changes.
That's the movie.
That's
the movie.
And it's not real,
No.
is it? I've had moments, but it's never been like, that was it, and I've never been the same
No,
again.
this is life.
Yeah.
And that's what I talk about, man. Like life is not a movie. It's not a movie where you have one breakthrough and like you're just taking off. No, man. But what happened with me was, as I said, Hell Week starts on Sunday. Usually you don't swell up until about Wednesday. My body said, oh, man, we're back. On Monday, 24 hours into it, man, I'm the Pillsbury Doughboy. My stretch fractures, I'm blown up. So I'm going through Hell Week like done. But I'm like, I can't quit. This is my last time going through. I can't get rolled. So I get through Hell Week, and this is where the shit gets fucking evil, man. This is where I start to click into something. When your mind, this is this whole 40% rule shit I talk about all the time that I made up a long time ago. And I started making it up through pain.
Tell them what that is, where'd you go?
So basically the 40% rule is I am a strong believer that we quit. Because why? How the f is a 297-pound cockroach guy who quit on everything is now considered one of the baddest men on the planet? How is that possible? It means I had to change one thing, my mindset. So there's no way in hell that was in me, but that guy was in me. When that guy came down here and said, hey, guess what, man? You're a fat ass, but I'm gonna now make you a bad ass. I'm gonna miracle this shit to be a bad ass. No, it was in me. I had to believe and make that belief work. And through hard work, I did that. So the 40% rule is like we have like a car. Some cars have a governor on it. And when you get to like 92 miles an hour, that car start doing this because it can't go any faster. Those cars that don't have governors on, like a fast ass, whatever, Porsche, whatever, I'm gonna bury it, gone. We have that ability in us, but we have put this governor on our minds. And you have to, the factory that put the governor on that car, the factory is now you that put this on your mind. You gotta take that motherfucker off. Until you take it off, you're gonna constantly get to 92 miles an hour and do this. Because you ain't gonna go faster. As a matter of fact, you might even go slower. So basically, I started realizing this through my life, through going through all these times. So now I get through Hell Week, we ended it like 30 hours early, and now we're in Walk Week. After you get through Hell Week, you have Walk Week. And Walk Week is when you're basically just walking around to heal up your body. And our Walk Week ended early because the instructors were pissed off. A guy dies. But the instructors are mad that we didn't finish a complete Hell Week, but I already had a complete Hell Week already.
Of course.
Because I already gone through one already. So now I'm sitting there thinking, man, I already went through 1.5 of these. Now I have like 2.5 of these motherfuckers. And now I'm getting my ass kicked because now the instructors are mad that our class didn't complete a full Hell Week and like they were like getting a pass. So they said, Roger that. They shut Walk Week down on like Tuesday. So everybody that was injured, because the Hell Week was very different than most of them, they had us on our feet the whole time, rucking, doing nothing but rucking, in and out of the water. It was brutal. So it was a much harder Hell Week than the other ones I was in. So anyway, my legs were broken. I'm sitting thinking, how the now there's no Walk Week, I can't heal. So my idea was this: I'm gonna have to leave my house early, because I lived off base. And I left early. I got to my dive cage where we had duct tape. So I put my black sock on about 4 o'clock in the morning, put a black sock on, and what I did was I got duct tape. So you know, whenever you move your ankle, it causes your shin to hurt if you have any issue up here. So what I did was I cast it with duct tape. So I put the duct tape over the sock, and so the sock kind of protected it to give it a little cushion. I duct taped it as tight as I could, And right here at the pivot point, it created a huge pressure ulcer because your ankle still wants to move. So that tape would just dig in there. So I did it every single day because my stress fractures were just killing me. So I ran pretty much for the first 45 minutes, the most excruciating pain of my life.
God.
And so, but basically after 45 minutes, my legs would go numb. And when they go numb, you don't feel this anymore. So I went through buds like this. So now, the f***ed up thing about it
My gosh, man.
is I get to third phase. And for some reason, man, I healed my stress fractures. You know what's funny about that? Is I have people now, so when I was in the worst part of my life, those people want to bring you back in. Those people, like you can see who you hang out with, like when you're in your worst. And when you're trying to get better, what makes it hard to get better is that you are hanging around people who, like, let's say you're an alcoholic. You hang around people who drink. And let's say you want to stop drinking. Those people want to bring you back in. Like I used to be this guy who wasn't worth anything. Now those people who are still there, they're 16, 17, 18, 30 years ago, they're trying to get you back there. So the hardest part, you got to see who you're hanging out with, man. You got to hang out with the people who you want to be like the most.
Yeah, people will definitely drag you down.
They'll drag you down. Why are you doing that today, man?
Yeah.
Why are you getting up again so early? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? The people you're hanging around with will suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to be alone, man. Get your shit in. People don't want to go in deep, man. All the answers are inside of you. It's a very primitive way. How this book is written, it's primitive. It's very barbarian. It's how we all think. It's how man once walked the earth. And then we get all soft and all this computers and we start going away from the most powerful thing we have is our fucking brain. It's our mind. And we don't use it anymore. So, it's like everything has to be so quick. What separates me from a lot of people is they go into a daunting task. And the task is overwhelming. Like when I heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups, and I was talking about breaking this record, people are like, oh my God. I went right to a pen and paper. Like, what are you doing? I'm doing the math, man. What are you talking about? I'm open-minded to the fact that, okay, if I do 5 pull-ups in a minute for so many hours, I can get so many pull-ups in. How much time do I have to rest? I was breaking the math down. You have to be open-minded to the possibilities that I can do this. Once you shut your mind down to the possibility that it can be achieved, there's no way it can happen. So that's why my eyes and my body light up about things, because I know that if you're in a fight, you have to attack. You have to keep attacking. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. You must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of you. That's what I realized. I was never breaking the soul of anything in front of me. So that's why I came up with this thing called Taking Souls in my book. I started to devise ways to break a soul of a human being, of an object, of whatever's in front of me. If you keep on attacking something, nothing wants to stand in front of anything that is relentless. Nothing. It takes 1 second of energy to steal everybody's, and then you have all the energy you need. That's all you need. You need to look at someone's eyes. You know how it is when you fight somebody and you broke that mother. He's like, oh God, man, I don't want to go back to the next round. And you feel like, my God, I can fight all day. I can fight all day long. That's what Taking Souls is. But you have to have the will, the heart, the courage to go that distance when you're exactly jacked up. You have nothing left to give and give more. I learned how to control my adrenals. If you know how you get that fight or flight response when you get to move real quick?
Yeah.
And I started learning the mind a lot, how to get myself jacked extremely fast, like in a horrible environment when everybody's miserable. I learned how to really find strength in the misery. When everybody's suffering, everybody's all poopy pants and their mentality's down and everything, I started just like, my God, this is where I shine. And I started using all that misery for tons and tons of drive and motivation to then lead people further. Because you can get a lot of power through misery. And once people see that, my God, Goggins is going, then everybody says, roger that. Let me get my and go too. So I started realizing that if you can just find strength just a little bit longer, you will have a crew of people following you along the way. You have to take great pleasure in the fact that no one wants to be where the fuck you're at right now. Great pleasure in that. And what makes, it has to bring a passion out of you. It has to bring something very, very weird out of you, man. Like, People don't really understand what that is. When you're in the worst environment possible, the worst situation possible, and everybody's looking like, God, man, I hope this ends. And you see that. Time slows down and you see that. You're feeling that. Everybody has that look on their face like, God, this got to go. I don't want to be here anymore. Almost impossible. And that's what I thought. But see, you see the person I am now. Yeah. I was 175 pounds in high school. So I was a skinny guy in high school. So I made myself big. I'm a small boned person. So it wasn't, trust me, it was hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And so I was trying to study for this ASVAB test again that, I got to take it again, going to the Navy. And I'm out here trying to lose weight. And I'm, working for this company, spraying for cockroaches and all sort of crap. And I would lay in her pond in November in Indiana. Just lay in her pond. I was like, I'm going to buzz. I got to get hard. So I would lay in the pond, get out of the pond, and go for a run. Just all wet, cold. Like like the daggone shirt would just freeze up from ice and shit. And I'd be out there running and said, what is wrong with you, man? Like, you were that kid who just didn't want to, like, what's wrong with you? So she started seeing the transformation, like, this guy is obsessed with trying to become somebody. Next thing she knew, man, my God, you actually lost that much weight that fast. We like to take these very quick fixes in life. We want the 6-minute abs approach to life.
Yeah.
Nah, man, there's no permanent in that.
Yeah.
There's no permanent in that, man. There's no scarring. There must be scarring. The reason why I speak the way I speak, because I believe in what I'm saying. If I ever shut it down, that's the end of me. And whatever my 100% will be, I don't know what's going to happen to me. Tomorrow, everybody's like, what if you can't run? I will figure what the I can do and do that. That would be my new 100%. You must continue to find your new 100%. Whatever life throws at you, you must find what you can do now. Human growth, growth of the mind. Without friction, there is no growth. Without friction, there's no growth. I was 290 pounds twice in my life. I do not like to do the things I do, but there's humongous satisfaction from doing it. There's humongous satisfaction from lacing your shoes up saying, I don't really want to go for a run today. And then running. And then getting back and saying, wow.
I did it. Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's about these small steps to doing things you don't want to do. I've done hot yoga several times. Yoga's huge. Like holding those positions. And I'm big in holding them for a long period of time. So that's where my stretching is. Like people say, don't hold stretches for a long time. I hold them for a long period of time. I'm trying to get full range of motion. A lot of people go in for like my shoulder's all messed up. I get surgery on it. Nah. If you don't have full range of motion in your body, don't go in and get cut on, man, until you know that your body is actually opened up. We start to get knuckle dragger syndrome from doing all these push-ups. You never work your back, like your rear delts. So here you are, you start hunching over before you know your joints are out of whack. You need to get full range of motion before you know how f***ed up you truly are. So I'm always working on full range of motion like a kid. They run so effortlessly. They're always in full range of motion. As you get older and tighter and sit and more stressed, your body starts to get more and more tight. Therefore, your shoulders start to get out of balance and out of joint and out of socket. Therefore, it's popping.
Yeah.
It's popping because you're tight. Open it up first. Open it up. Can you touch your hands behind each other and raise them up behind you? It's all these different ranges of motion that I got real smart on from a guy, and I took it to another level. It is for me to become better mentally. How I look has just become I have thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles on this body, running, pull-ups, push-ups, swimming, whatever you want to call it. This body is what it is now. It's from repetition. It's not from studying, hey, if you hold a plank for this long, fuck all that bull. I don't care about it. I just do it for my mind.
Right.
I want to continue to harden because that's the only thing I want. That's what I want. I want to have that mind ready for life. I was a very misunderstood human being when I was in the military. The Air Force guys liked me a lot. The Rangers liked me a lot. So much not the SEALs.
Because they were with you.
They didn't like me so much, which is fine. I respect them. I think a lot of them respect. I have a lot of friends in the SEAL teams. A lot of guys that like-minded mentalities as me. And once again, man, I grew up and I got over it. A lot of guys still have, a lot of people can't get over the fact of whatever. When I became a SEAL recruiter, a lot of guys thought I wasn't deploying for a lot of reasons and whatnot. And I heard a lot. I was that guy who grinded. I grinded hard. I mean, I grinded hard. I was that guy who was up, like if we went on an op or we had a workup, let's say we had a workup, we were in Island, we're out there shooting guns and doing land warfare, and we did it till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Most everybody would go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I went to the gym and I worked out. Or I'd go sleep, and let's say we'd be up at 5 o'clock. I was up at 4 o'clock and got my hour in. I made sure to always do that. And I did it to a point to where I think it pissed some people off because I wasn't a quiet person about it. You know, I wasn't the most humble person always. You know, so when you're around alpha males, you're sometimes picking a fight, you know, all the time. And I looked different, I acted different, I was different, I am different. I take a lot of pride in that. And so, you know, if you didn't get after it, I didn't respect you. Because I believe that, you know, where I'm at, I know that human potential is what we have. It's all we have. It's what the world sees us a certain way. And once I found out what a human being's capable of, I didn't know how to control that. I was a you want to talk about a fucking savage? That's what I was. I was a fucking straight up, people talk about savage very lightly. I was from the backwoods motherfucking savage, dude. You know, and I told you what I thought. I had 8 chips on my shoulder. And a lot of times that wasn't great. I'm different. And that's when I figured out. I'm different from everybody in the fucking world. And I had to own that and say, you know what, man, you made a lot of mistakes being who you are. And I should have been more of a leader at times. But a lot of times, a lot of people should have been a little bit harder too. And my biggest fear, I visualize some crazy shit. My biggest fear is that one day I'm going to reach a judgment of my life. Something is going to judge me for what the I was supposed to be in life. And what I want now is that whoever's judged me up there, I want them to have a board and them up there right now getting their pen out. Because, you know, this person who judges you is supposed to know everything. You're supposed to know from the time you're dead to the time you're, time you're born, time you're dead. I want this person to be up there to be like this, up there writing more about me, saying, I know you can do that. I know you can do that. So I want to impress whatever is up there, whatever's going on in life. I want to go up there and not have anything left on the table. I want to drain my soul of every bit of person I am. You want to be quiet in your mind to see where you want to go, because noise is the ultimate kryptonite.
Yeah.
Too much noise in your mind, you're not going to be focused on what the task at hand is. It's not about the money at all. It's just about the hard work. I've always been looking for those people, like those guys, like you're out there digging a 3-mile fire line, literally a 3-mile fire line. You're cutting down these huge trees to dig this fire line, and the fire line is like 20 to 18 inches for 3 miles. And you got like 12 people digging this shit. And I'm out there thinking, man, this is some of the hardest work I've done in my life. And it's that challenge that you can't find sometimes by going to the gym or by running, a 100-mile race. It's that new challenge of like, hey, and then you get done digging, all right, you work 17 hours, 16, 17 hours, you get your little fucking sleeping mat out, shack down, boom, right there on the floor, right there on the ground, get up, dig some more. Be out there 2-3 weeks sometimes, man, just doing that. There's great satisfaction in the kind of work that you do out there. No one's watching. No one gives a It's hard, dangerous work. And, you're doing it to help out, man. From running, and I'm not saying don't do this, but people go, how'd you get through it? By the time I got to third phase, which is like maybe 3.5 months later, when I went to third phase, my stress fractures were healed.
It's crazy.
And I ran on them. And people say, was it shin splints? No, I had x-rays. They were breaks in my legs.
Man.
So,
That's
and I'm not
crazy.
saying do that,
Yeah.
but because it's very painful.
Well, most people aren't willing to go to a point where they get their body to the point where it gets numb.
Right.
That you were, right?
And people say, why did you do that? It's either that or not become a Navy SEAL. There's only one separator, man. And anybody, not just Navy SEALs, but anybody that can accomplish anything that is hard. The only separator is that they really want to be there. There's some people that get inspired, and that inspiration moves them to try to do something. But the inspiration is very high right now in this nice environment. We're in a nice environment. The ocean's out there. I'm talking to you. If I want to go to the refrigerator and get something to drink, eat, I can. I watch a movie about some badasses, you're inspired. But the second you're not in this environment and you're actually doing what inspired you, that suck factor is now real. You can't just get off your couch and get a shake or get a fucking box of donuts or turn the TV or go take a shit or piss or go get your girlfriend and cuddle up. No, you're now there. And only those people who have been there a million times in their minds and have lived in that water and have suffered a million times and realize my legs may break, my knee may break, my bones will hurt. I will be the coldest I've been in my life. I will be miserable, and accept that. Because what happens is when you get in a horrible situation in life, your mind, I call it my 1 second decision. When you get in a horrible situation in life, your mind immediately says, get the out of here. Everybody's does, even if you want to be there. But it starts to have all these different questions in your mind in that 1 second. And it says, okay, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why this? Why that? And then you start to say to yourself, if you don't want to be there that bad, I have a beautiful wife at home, man. Why the fuck am I doing this, man? Like, this is stupid. This is gonna get these guys injured. Like they're gonna pay for this for the rest of their lives. I'm not gonna break my body up to do this. Your mind starts to say, yeah, this is stupid. But if you are already knowing that this is gonna happen to you, you have all the answers to these questions that your mind starts to give you when you're in suffer mode.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized.
Is it true that's your visualization of those moments over and over?
Over and over again. You have to be there but not there at the graduation.
Okay.
You gotta be there in the worst
In the
parts
suffering.
that you know over and over again. You gotta live that in your mind. Real answer, I like to get a bunch of men together.
Okay.
Men that are the hardest of the hard. And I want to be with these men. And I want to see them suffer. Because I'm suffering right along with you, but I want to see me get through it. I want to see what you're made of. I want to see almost like the Colosseum in Rome. Let's go to the Colosseum. And the only way to see who the baddest motherfucker is to suffer. You can't do it by writing a paper. So let's go. Because why? What I found out through my life was I thought of myself as some weak little kid. And what I found out, and the only message I want to get across to people is once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything. And I find it fascinating. I'm fascinated because I'll be in these moments. I put these guys on some pedestal.
Yeah. Which people do with you.
They do with me, and they shouldn't. And I was this guy who was a piece of shit looking at these, my God, how are you guys this amazing? But once I worked my way up there, I said, my God, man, we can all compete, motherfucker. Let's go. So, do I like suffering? I like suffering in the way that is competitive, that brings out the absolute best in me and in everybody else. So I want to see a man be defeated. I want to see a man get broken and say, F you. I love these men. These men I love, but there's very few of them. There's very few of them. And there's very few that are willing to go there more than once. A lot of people, even people who've gone through special ops, it kicks the shit out of them to a point where in their mind, what got me bad in pararescue was when I was going through it, I said, I'm only gonna do this one time. And so many people in special ops, whether they believe it or not, in anything, special ops in anything, that's hard, I'm only doing this one time. Once you say that, you yourself. So who I was this nobody guy. And I created this Goggins. And that Goggins, there's David Goggins and there's Goggins. David Goggins is a calm, cool guy that sits back. Used to be a, weak kid. Now he's just a normal guy. Goggins is a guy that is willing to tape up his legs to go after it. In that book, you read about David Goggins and also Goggins. What I realized in my life is that Goggins is who I love. Goggins is who I created. My dad created David Goggins. I created Goggins. So what's happening with me, and since Can't Hurt Me came out, and since I got on social media, which is why I don't like social media, which is why I'm not on there very much, which is why I give people one time, I have to do me. I have to do me. So people get it twisted, man. I am who I am.
Yeah.
What's in that book is me.
Yeah.
So now what they see is this guy who's trying to get people to get off their ass. That just happened to happen, man. I didn't set out. When I set out to be a SEAL and set out to go to Ranger School and all this other shit I did and break records, I didn't set out to please motherfucker.
Right.
I didn't set out to say, hey, pay me now. I got a great story. That. And I realize now that my life has kind of gotten to a point where people know me, I have followers and whatnot. The biggest depression of my life is you get caught up into helping so many people out, and it's great, and I love that, but you lose yourself in all of that shit. It literally, and people go, man, but my guy, like you're changing. I get all that shit, man. But what the is motivating you in that book? What's motivating you is the stories I'm telling you about what I did in my life. Once I stop living that, I'm no more.
Yes.
I am not the that you are now being motivated from. So right now in the mirror, I now got back to Goggins. I'm now back to running 100 miles a week. I'm now back to getting I saw, and I talk to my girl about all the time. You travel, you speak, you all this shit. It's all great and dandy for most people. I'm Goggins. What makes me me is the dungeon.